Well, you're listening to CKUA. My name is Grant, and the program is Alberta Morning. That was something brand new. That was the newly released Gord Downie project just out this past weekend on the Arts and Crafts record label. This posthumous release is entitled Lustre Parfait. It's one of Gord Downie's final projects, a co-creation with a super producer to the stars, Bob Rock. And the album's very striking artwork on the album cover and elsewhere features the photography of the brilliant Edmonton artist Matthew Cardinal. And I'm thrilled to say that Matthew joins us on CKUA right now to tell us a little bit about this work of his, a very prominent part of this new album by a pair of true rock legends. Matthew Cardinal, thank you so much for making some time to come join us and hang out once again with us on CKUA.
Hi, hello. Of course. Thank you for having me.
Always a thrill, and there's so many reasons we want to talk to you about latest works of yours at all times. Of course, you're well known, Matthew, as a presence on these airwaves as a musician. CKUA's airwaves have been graced by music from your solo project, as well as bands like Wayfinding and nehiyawak that you've been a part of. But you've also long had this parallel career as an acclaimed photographer. When did you first start getting interested in that side of the creative arts? Do you remember?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't I wouldn't say that, but maybe. I mean, it's been a few years. I mean, I got a first real sort of film camera maybe like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Was it maybe? Late 2019, 2018, 2019. And then I've just kind of been really taking a lot of photos since then,
Mm-hmm.
constantly, and collecting all kinds of other film cameras.
Wow, cool. That's awesome. And of course, we've seen your photography in musical projects in the past, including your own, but now your work graces a new album by two very high-profile figures indeed, Gord Downie and Bob Rock. How did your photos come to be a part of all of this, Matthew?
Yeah. So, hey, I had a phone call with Jonathan Shedletsky from the label Arts and Crafts, and he does all sorts of things over there. And we were catching up on music and what I was doing, what he was doing, and then he's like, "Hey, you still taking photos?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And he's like, "Looking for, stuff for a few projects." He's like, "You got any photos of water?" I was like, "Well, not really." He's like, "Okay, this is really weird, but do you have any photos of chandeliers?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I have a bunch." For some reason, it's just, I like taking photos of chandeliers, I guess. So I sent him a bunch. He didn't really tell me what it was for at first. And then they were looking over and trying to decide. And then I found the other one a couple weeks later, the one that's actually on the album cover.
Hmm.
I was going through my photos and I was like, "Oh, yeah, there's this one too." So I sent that one and they really liked it. So then I was just kind of like waiting to see if it was going to happen or not. But it was just kind of a coincidence, I suppose,
Wow.
being on the call with the person that, had been doing Gord Downie releases for the past few years, working on art direction. I just happened to have what he needed,
Incredible.
I guess.
Yeah, incredible. You happen to already have taken the photos that turned out to be on the cover and
Yeah.
elsewhere. Where are these chandeliers in real life?
Well, they're both in Edmonton.
Ah, okay.
The one on the cover was in a storefront, which is no longer there. The building is there, but I think it might be the same business, but there's like the chandelier and that mirror, I believe are not there anymore.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then the one that's on the inside of the gatefold, and is also used on some of the EP artwork. That one, it was may have been at the Empress,
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
which is also no longer
I was
there.
going to say, yeah, this kind of adds to the poignancy of, there's already a kind of a wistful feeling about these photographs. That really deepens that for me. And what was like up until this project, what's your relationship with the music of Gord Downie been like, or the music of Bob Rock for that matter?
Well, Bob Rock, of course, I don't know if I'd listened to any of his own music, but his productions I've probably been hearing my entire life.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
my oldest sister loved that Metallica album, so
Mm.
I heard it quite a bit, and there's so many things he's done that that it's been kind of constant. He's been working for a long time, and I've heard so much. And Gord Downie, Tragically Hip too, is something I've always heard in my life growing
Mhm.
up, and such a like I don't know, just such a figure in this country's music and arts scene. Seems so I don't know what word to use, but you know you know exactly what I mean.
Ubiquitous? I don't know. All
Yeah,
pervasive.
I mean, yeah, and just so highly regarded and
Yeah,
loved, and
right.
yeah, so it was pretty amazing to have this opportunity, and just
Mm.
by chance it
Mm.
seems.
Incredible. Yeah, it's so true. And just before I leave you be here, Matthew, we're going to listen to some music from one of your latest projects. But I'd love to ask you, what is next for Matthew Cardinal, the photographer? I know you've always got a lot of different projects on the brew.
Oh, it's a photographer. I'm just gonna be taking lots of photos.
Right. You were taking like a Polaroid a day for a while there, weren't you?
I was, yeah, last year, I suppose. So 365 Polaroids with the folding older vintage folding Polaroid cameras.
Right. You got
Uh,
a shoebox full of those someplace?
I do, yeah. They're yeah, all organized and in order, and they're just waiting to do something.
Just waiting to do something. You never know when the phone is going to ring and what wild request from what bizarrely all-pervasive name is going to be around the corner. Well,
Yeah,
Matthew, I'm so thrilled about this for you and your chandeliers and your photography. I really appreciate your taking some time to share with us today.
of course. Thank you. Thank you.
That is Alberta's very own Edmonton-based musician and photographer Matthew Cardinal. You can check out his inspired photography throughout the album artwork for Lustre Parfait by Gord Downie and Bob Rock, just released May 5th on Arts and Crafts. You can follow Matthew Cardinal's work through his Bandcamp and his social media. And in the meantime, here's another brand new project of Matthew's. He plays bass and keys with the band that we will hear next here on CKUA. This is music from Wayfinding.